want to also say that every year when it comes to COP, we go through a lot of criticism, a lot of bashing by not the media generally, but by our opponents, showing that we have multiple people that are coming here and all that, based on very fictitious numbers that they have been displayed. It was displayed last week, and I saw it, I was laughing. Out of that list that we have seen, a large number of the names that are there, which is very good for us, are not even here, because sometimes registering to come to COP doesn't mean that you are going to come to COP. And so this year, in fact, Nigeria is not having the number we had in Baku. So I believe we need to say it the way it is. I'm going to talk to Charles so that we can address this issue of numbers, which has always been a case with us since COP28. That's when the new administration came. So I want us to always be there and be proactive. We shouldn't wait for a minister or DG or director to defend us. We should learn to defend ourselves. Once we hear that someone is saying what is not there, we just say, this is not correct. We just come out and just dismiss it. So I think we should try to do that. And like at all COPs, I will urge you to do what we are supposed to do here. One COP is supposed to be an arena negotiation. That negotiates how we can address the issue of climate generally, and in Nigeria particularly, because we are facing serious cases of climate impact. Let's look at the flood, the encroachment of the desert, the issue of erosion, rising sea levels, and all that. Nigeria is plugged between the uppermost desert and it's also being plugged by the oceans. So we're having the effect of these two important climate issues. The desert is coming in very fast, so we have to find ways and means of trying to prevent it from coming and taking over. We have a lot of projects like the Great Green Wall, the AgriSal new map now that have just come on board, and many others. We are looking at WACA, that's the West African coastal issues, and we're looking at also to try to address chronic erosion in the east, in the south, and many other parts of the country, particularly north central. So there are a number of things that we can try to achieve by being here. Let's try to make the best use of the opportunity we have to be here to negotiate for the best for Nigeria. Nigeria and most of the federal countries have been victims of climate change. So we must try to see that we get the benefit of being here to negotiate what is the best for our country in terms of climate change. I have to say that for the last 2 COP I've attended, we have tried, and we're still trying. The issue of loss and damage is still hanging. Nothing has been done about it, so we should push for it. And the last COP, it was supposed to have been dealt with, but apparently it wasn't really completed. So we have to push for it as we go out of time. I do talking to those who are going to participate in the negotiation. They must try to see that we get the best out of it. We are talking about $100 billion is there, but up to this moment, it is not yet released. The last time I attended a meeting in Rome, I told them that this can look like a mirage. The more you move towards it, the more it disappears. So let's try to see that we try to put them on task that we must get this thing done as quickly as possible. Because climate change is not waiting for us. It's a reality. It's not a hoax. It's there. We can feel it, we can see it. So anybody who come and say that climate change is a hoax, it's a scam, I think we should just laugh at it. And I used to get this adage from former President Johnson. He said that anybody who is pretending to be sleeping, if you are pretending to be sleeping, there's no way we can wake you up. Because you are pretending. If you are sleeping, we can wake you up. If you don't know, we can explain to you. But if you know, you are pretending not to know, well, there's no way we can explain to you. So that's where we are now. I think we must try. And I'm happy to say that a large number of countries believe that there is climate change. The EU believe that there is climate change. So we should try to get them to see that there are areas in which we can address the issue of climate change. As Glasgow, I mentioned the disappearing Lake Chad, which to me is a global problem. If Lake Chad disappears, Cameroon, Niger, Nigeria, and the Chad itself will have a problem. So, and that will cascade to other countries. So we must also try to address particular issues like Lake Chad and also try to address issues like flood. Flood has now become a phenomenon in Nigeria. Every rainy season, we are struggling to find ways and means of trying to alert people that let them try to take care that flood doesn't come in and devastate our area. So flood, and I always say that flood is occurring in places it shouldn't. Flood in Sokoto, for example, flood in Maiduguri, flood in Katsina. These are areas that hardly get enough rain. So why does the flood come in? It's because of climate change and also because of our inaction. We must wake up and do the right thing. Try to allow water to go to where it should go, and let's try to see what we are trying to do. In the meeting environment, we have been looking at rain harvest, trying to address flood by trying to store it in a way that we can use it later. So we are trying flood into prosperity. But how much we are doing all we can, we have just issued the third green bond, which is targeted at addressing green project and green industrialization. But we need more than that. We need much, much more than that, and that's why I'm here. So let's try to see that what we are here for, we should try to do that. I'm sure that our leadership, what we are trying to do, that are going to organize our own negotiation team, and also we have to link up with the African negotiation team also, because they are also doing very well, because we all have a similar problem. So we try to see that we put in Nigeria within the African context and also put in Nigeria within the international context. That's what we're supposed to do here. And I wish all of us the very best in this scope. And we can have meetings, maybe after this session we can have meetings. And maybe I can give time for people to raise questions that if there are some that have issues raised, either I can answer them or I can get some people in the front row to answer them. So thank you very much.